And I'll tell you why it's real. I've just come back from the Middle East. All of the sovereign wealth funds are now buying, right? These are the largest pools of capital in the world. We're hearing it out of Saudi, out of Abu Dhabi, out of Qatar, and out of Bahrain. And why that's happening is because the US has become crypto friendly. It's the green light. So the US will get some regulation through. There'll be a bit of a shit show and debating about it and the usual stuff, but they will get some regulation through, which is the clarity that all of the pension funds need. So they're waiting as well. So there is a lot of buying to come from the really big players who've been waiting. Like Goldman has not been able to fully build out its desk, and JP Morgan haven't. They've had crypto for a while, but only for certain types of customers, but they want to build out suites of product, but they've been waiting for regulatory clarity. So yeah, I think it's a big deal. Like, the institutions are still either trying to figure out what this thing is. Yeah. Right? I had a conversation with one of the biggest kind of financial asset management firms in the world yesterday, based out of the US. And they're like, they've even got a crypto division, but they're other kind of where they allocate the assets. They're like, we don't know how to deal with this. So they're still trying to figure out what it is. Yeah. Like, they haven't figured out it's a macro asset. Others have. The sovereign wealth funds obviously are just doing it for diversification of reserves. They're like, it's a technology, it's a diversification of reserves. So if the US is going to do it, we're going to do it. So there's different groups doing different stuff. There is a bunch of people who still don't really want to do the homework on it. They're like, we don't know, it's too volatile for us. But I think usually it's the first mover advantage in this. And, you know, again, it reminds me a lot of back in the day when Goldman rolled out the GSCI index and nobody had commodities in their portfolios, and that team had to go around and sell commodities to everybody. And they would say, the clients would say, but it's too volatile. And you say, yes, but part of a diversified portfolio, it's exactly the same thing, right?
That's right.
It's exactly. And also, you know, we were around when the gold ETF started, and it's the same thing. Everyone was like, holy shit, where did this come from? It became a very, very big ETF. It's exactly the same. You know, what people like to do, because there's so many new participants in the industry, they think it's all new and different. When you've been around as long as you and I, you realize nothing is different. We've gone through all of this before. This just happens to be a bigger, faster moving asset, but it's the same as GSCI was. It's the same as the gold ETF was. You know, it's the same as the NASDAQ was when we didn't understand what the it was and why it went up all the time. It's all of these things combined, right?
What do you think about gold here, Raoul?